If you are here, I'm guessing you've already seen the first part of this beginner guide, where we covered the basics, how map work, clue mechanics, and how to track other hunters before they track you. This second part is a bit more specific and way more practical. I'll show you how buying and gearing up hunters actually works, which traits are worth grabbing early on, and some beginner-friendly weapon loadouts that won't break the bank. We'll also look at tools, consumables, and near the end I'll share some basic combat tips and how to keep your cool, especially when you're stuck in losing streak, which will happen sooner or later. Alright, let's get into it. Let's start with hunters and how buying them actually works, because this part can be a bit confusing for brand new players. When you buy a hunter, you are not buying that one specific character forever. What you are unlocking is the ability to recruit that skin or character again and again. So if they die, or you retire them, you don't need to pay blood bonds, which is in-game premium currency, or real money again. You should go back to the recruitment screen and hire them for $100. Same goes for weapons and skins. Once you unlock the skin, either from DLC or in-game store for blood bonds, you can apply it to any compatible weapon, as long as you have unlocked that weapon variant through your bloodline progression. You have basically got two options for recruiting hunters. One, pre-hunter. These are, surprisingly, free. You don't have to spend any $100, but they come with very basic gear and just one random trait. They are great if you are low on cash, want to mess around with a new weapon, or do some crazy naked run. Option 2. Spend $100 to recruit a hunter with a unique skin that you previously unlocked or bought. These always come with 10 trait points, right from the start, which gives you much more control over how you build them. We will talk more about traits later in the video. In short, every skin or character you unlock is yours to keep. Just be ready to say goodbye when some of them die, because this is Hunt and losing your hunter is part of the deal. It's good to know that if you are just start playing, your hunter will actually cheat death until you hit bloodline level 11. So early on, there is no real penalty for dying. Take the time to experiment and get used to dying. After that, you are not an absolute beginner anymore, just a regular beginner for the next, let's say, $1,000. Yeah, I'm not joking. Traits are special abilities you can add to your hunter. You can think of them kind of like perks from Fallout game, and they can make a huge difference, especially when you are starting out. Each hunter can have up to 15 traits in total. As we said before, free hunters come with just one random trait, usually worth 3 points. But if you recruit a hunter for $100, they start with 10 trait points, and you can assign them however you want. For beginners, I recommend starting with traits that are simple and help you stay alive longer. Here are my top picks for how to spend your first 10 points as a beginner. Resilience. If you are playing in a team, take always this one. It lets you get revived back to full health. It's absolute lifesaver. Necromancer. If you are playing solo, this one is almost mandatory. It lets you self-revive once with a full health restoration effect. It's useful in team play too, since it lets you revive a teammate from up to 25 meters away, though without the full health restoration effect. It's still a super useful trait to have as a beginner. Bloodless. This trait ensures your bleeding never gets worse than light. Yeah, in hand you can bleed from almost everything. This trait literally buys you time, so you can find cover and heal before things get out of the hand. Once you survive your first game and earn few more points, you can start picking up other traits like, for example, Witness. With this one, you will see glowing spots in dark side. where hunters or monsters died. You can use this info and track past fights or find hunter corpses. Also, if you stand in these spots while using Dark Side, it will start healing your last health bar. Lightfoot. This trait makes you move more quietly. Walls, jumps, and movement over obstacles are all quieter. Also, it lowers the sound from sound traps you trigger. It's great if you want to move more stealthily. Kite Skin. This 1-point trait is one of my favorites. It reduces fall damage. It's super cheap and honestly kind of underrated. It can save your life when you need to make a quick escape or take a risky jump during a fight. There are a lot of other useful traits, but these are the most universal and beginner-friendly ones I would recommend starting with. A few weapon-related traits that can help you are Iron Eye. You will remain in iron sights between shots when firing bolt action, lever action, and pump action weapons. Levering. Turns out your lever action rifle into hip fire machine. Great choice if you are looking for something that covers all distances. Funning. It basically lets you fun your revolver like a cowboy. It's super quick in close fights, especially deadly with Caldwell chain pistol. Here's a quick tip. If you want to know if gun you pick up can benefit from any of these traits, simply write the name of the trait in search bar in gun menu to filter all compatible guns. Now let's take a look at weapons, because Hunt has lots of them. And if you are new, all the choices can feel pretty overwhelming. But the good news is, you don't need the most expensive gear to play well, not even close. So here's how all weapons are sorted in simple terms. Weapons are split into 3 slot sizes: small, medium, and large. Your hunter can normally carry 1 large weapon, like a big rifle or shotgun, and 1 small weapon, it's usually a revolver or melee weapon. Or, if you prefer, you can carry 2 medium weapons instead. There is also a trait called Quartermaster that lets you carry a large and medium weapon. But for beginners, I would skip it. It costs 6 points and you will get more value from other traits early on. Now, beyond the slot system, guns are also divided by ammo types. Compact, medium, long, shells, these are shotgun shells, and special. Stuff like arrows, bolts, and rounds with unusual sizes. If you are just starting out, I would recommend sticking with compact or medium ammo weapons. They are usually cheaper, easier to handle, and you will get plenty of shots. Bigger ammo types hit harder, but come with downsides like fewer bullets and more recoil. If you don't mind carrying a bit less ammo, FMJ ammo variants are great for penetration and keeping more consistent damage over distance. And yeah, since 1896 update, there is bullet drop in Hunt. When you aim down sights, check the number in the bottom right corner. It tells you how far your weapon can shoot before the bullet starts to drop. Beyond that range, you will need to aim higher to compensate. If you want to know more about how bullet drop actually works in Hunt, I will add a link to a really good video in description. Go to the shooting range. It's the best place to test any new gun or ammo without pressure. Try out different weapons, see how far they shoot, and get a feel for how much you need to aim above the head at different distances. And if you want to be a bit more methodical about it, take a spyglass right into the match. When you ping something with it, it shows you the exact distance. Same as in shooting range, which really helps you when you are learning bullet drop. Knowing how your guns behave ahead of time can save you a ton of frustration in real fights. So now that you know how weapon types and ammo work, let's put it all together. When building your first loadouts, don't overthink it. Focus on gear that's cheap, reliable, and helps you deal with both monsters and hunters. because as a beginner you will be dealing with both a lot. Start by thinking about your playstyle. If you have got good aim and prefer to fight from a distance, go for a rifle. If you like pushing compounds and fighting up close, maybe try a shotgun or something melee focused. Either way, your main weapon will have weaknesses, so pick a sidearm that covers those gaps. Here are 3 slot rifles and shotgun options that I think are great for beginners. Frontier. This Winfield rifle is dirt cheap, has plenty of ammo, and if you pair it with levering trait, it turns into a close-range beast. There is also silence version, perfect for sneaky silent kills. Honestly, this thing can carry you for a lot of hours. As an alternative, Waterly. It's still budget-friendly, but hits harder than Frontier. It uses medium ammo though, so while you do more damage, you will have fewer shots. The iron sights take a little getting used to, but once you adjust, it's great all-around rifle, especially for mid-range fights. Romero Alamo. I know, many hate this shotgun and say it's clunky and reloads like a nightmare, but this one just can do the job. It's also very cheap and has super tight spread. If you want a shotgun with knockout power, this one might be for you. As an alternative, check out Spectre. A pump action, it's a bit pricier, but more forgiving if you miss a shot. Just keep in mind, for partial reloads, you will need the bullet grabber trait. As your secondary weapon, the best beginner pick is Nagant Silencer. It's super cheap, uses compact ammo, and it's incredibly forgiving. Pair it with poison ammo. It's perfect for clearing out chicken coops, dog cages, and other noise traps, and you will be able to silently kill most of monsters in one shot. Just be careful of your surroundings. A quick note on what to not bring early on. Avoid any expensive gear you are not comfortable with. Skip the high-tier weapons and maybe leave the big dynamite bundle at home until you are used to cooking explosives, because this thing can and will explode in your face if you mess it up. If you are into stealth, cheap silent builds are the most forgiving. You can reposition without giving away your location, miss a shot and try again, and just learn at your own pace. If you are a stats nerd and want to know exactly how much damage each weapon does, or how they stack up against each other, there is a great site for that. It's not just weapon comparison either. You will also find links to other hunt tools and even 4 lore books from older versions of the game. I will leave a link in video description. Now, let's go over tools and consumables. Tools are usually reusable items in your loadout. Your hunter have 4 slots for them, and here are the ones I would recommend for beginners. Knuckle knife or dusters, because you need a reliable melee option, especially for dealing with immolators. The knuckle knife is great because it counts as both fist weapon and a blade. First aid kit. This is a must. It heals 50 points of health per use and can be used up to 3 times or 4 times with Frontier's mentorate. It also stops bleeding, so if you are bleeding and already lost 1 health bar, it's usually better to just use the first aid kit right away, instead of stopping the bleeding first, as it handles both. Choke bombs. I always bring them when I play in the team. They extinguish fire, block vision, and create just enough cover to safely revive someone. Super underrated, but absolutely clutch when things get messy. For the last slot, I would pick any throwable item of your choice. My favorite are throwing knives, but many would choose rather throwing axes or throwing spear. Each have its own pros and cons. Try them all and choose the one that fits your playstyle and feels more natural. Now consumables. These are single-use items, so once you use them, they are gone. Same as tools, you have up to 4 slots to use. Vitality shot. Whether you go for one of the regular ones or regen shot, having some kind of backup healing is always a good idea. The regen one is great if you need to patch up while moving or during a long fight, but the regular one is literally instant and reliable. Waxed dynamite stick. This thing is just amazing. It's cheap and it always explodes, even in water or choke clouds. And it's super useful for flushing enemies out of buildings, killing meatheads or clearing concertina traps. You can even use the smoke it creates as a quick visual cover to revive a teammate. I like this one so much, I usually bring 2. For the last slot, I often leave this one empty, because chances are I will find a toolbox or supply point early in the match anyway. With tools and consumables, feel free to experiment. Everyone finds their own favorite combination eventually. But if you are just starting out, these picks are cheap, effective, and help you survive matches without feeling helpless. Fights in Hunt can go sideways fast, and when it does, it's usually because you stood still or move in a bad spot. It doesn't mean you need to sprint everywhere, but just holding one angle and hoping for the best, that's how you get often shot. There are certain moments when it's best choice to stay and don't move, but these moments are more rare than you think. Also, never repeat the same spot. If you miss a shot and your instinct might say, go again, just don't. Anyone watching that spot is already waiting for you. Change position, peek from another angle, or move around entirely. Keep your movement unpredictable, keep your enemies guessing. Positioning matters more than most people realize. Always know where is the nearest solid cover, something you can quickly duck behind to reload or heal. It could be a wall, a cart, a tree, anything that has some mass. Elevation is kind of double-edged sword. If you are sniping, height gives you a vision, but it also makes you visible. With a shotgun or melee weapon, staying low or moving quickly is usually better. Also, try not to tunnel vision. Fights get intense, and it's easy to lose track of what's going on around you. Good gunfights in Hunt aren't just about fast reflexes. They are about timing, movement, and picking up the right moment. A lot of fights in Hunt are won before anyone even pulls a trigger. The team with better positioning, better awareness, or just better timing comes out on top. If you know where the enemy is, and they don't know where you are, you have already got the advantage. Staying calm under pressure is what gets you out alive, and when it doesn't, that's just Hunt doing what Hunt does. After match, win or lose, take a second and just reflect. What actually happened? What worked? What could have gone better? Doesn't need to be a deep thinking. Just ask yourself simple stuff like, was I too loud? Did I push too early? Did I forget to heal before picking that corner? These quick reflections are very important and make you better way faster than blaming teammates or chalking up every loss to a bad luck. Truth is, most regular matches aren't anything like what you see on YouTube. Nobody's showing games with 6 losses in a row. Of course, it makes sense. Nobody would want to watch that. But it's good to remember that losing is normal. And look, to be honest, my KDA usually sits around 1.4, and most of my games, I just die. Sometimes I extract bounty. Sometimes I get killed by a guy hiding in a bush. Sometimes I just miss all my shots and die without even killing anyone. That's life. Or rather, that's the life of a regular hunter. The trick is not to get too attached to any hunter you have. They are meant to die, eventually. You are not supposed to survive every match. So try to not play too safe just to protect your hunter. Go for the fight. Take the risk. Worst case, you learn something. That's it. No good story ever happens from things going right. In the end, the match you remember isn't the one where you extracted with thousands of $100. It's the one full of chaos, close calls, and unexpected moments. So that's it for the second part of Beginner Guide to Hunt Showdown. Now you have got basic idea of what gear to bring, which traits to pick, and how to survive your first few fights, or at least to die in slightly more interesting ways. Progress in Hunt is slow, for newcomers, brutal even. But once things start to click, it's one of the most satisfying shooters out there. And if you are still struggling, that's normal. Everyone who plays this game long enough ends up humbled at some point. Like I said, Hunt isn't about winning every time. It's about learning something each game. Most of the time, you are just one good decision away from winning, or one stupid mistake away from that. But no worries. Just do better next time, and remember that in every failure there is something to be gained. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.